I wake up every single day. I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
We keep it burning, baby. We keep it burning, baby. Why?
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined by the Bayesian sensation.
What up?
And the hip hop preacher
Himself.
who
Call me E.T.
was violated the whole plane last night. I do want to tell y'all that for those of you tuning into this. I don't know if you watched this on social media yesterday, but we were on a world tour with
Muhammad,
my man, yesterday and got in late last night. So, Carl, this was the worst defense since Bermuda in terms of blowing out the whole first
Hey,
class.
let me tell you something,
Oh,
though.
no.
Yes.
Okay, but here's my deal, though.
No, I'm talking about the whole
But
plane.
here's the deal.
Hold on,
Who comes up with these rules?
No.
Why can't I be me
No.
in first
You
class?
could be you.
I
I'm
can be
saying,
me.
There's an unwritten etiquette. It's like baseball. There's unwritten rules that you're just supposed to follow. And one of those is.
But I didn't know. I'm saying, who made the rules, first of all? I'm paying all that money to be in first class, so I should be able to act like I'm.
So, a little
Let me get it, right? Just let me get it.
Yeah, just a little backdrop. One time that we all offended and we all made a vow. I don't know if E was there that we would not offend like that. We were coming back from Bermuda and we had fish sandwiches because the fish sandwiches were crazy. So we got like 92 of them to go.
Art Mills.
Shout out to Art Mill. Yeah, R.I.P. Art Mill.
R.I.P.,
You heard us talk about it before. And we got on the plane in first class. And mind you, we had got the fish sandwiches like 3 hours before. So we got on the plane, we on the way back to the crib, and we opened up and hit the fish sandwiches in the whole plane. I promise you, the entire plane was disgusting.
I was sitting on the
People was
airplane.
we smashing. So we was like, yo, everybody, like the stewardess was treating us crazy. They were like, yo, like looking at us like, y'all foul. So we vowed never to do it again.
Y'all vowed to never
But
do it again.
Until yesterday.
I didn't vow not to do it again.
He wasn't hungry when we went out. We had a meeting, and after we finished
We had
up
just
on the
eaten
interview.
about an hour before the, you know what I'm saying?
But everybody didn't eat like you when you ate. You had
They
fish
had
and
the
chips.
same
I had a
thing I
salad.
had.
I had a salad.
Jalen and them had the same thing I had.
Jalen did. I had a salad. Jalen also 21. You know what I'm saying? He can do that. So anyway, he orders like this Caribbean jerk meal with like the Caribbean jerk chicken, the rice, the beans.
But
all
what it
kind of
was
stuff.
is Cuban though, so it was
Oh yeah.
Oh, I ain't
was
never had
Cuban.
Cuban.
Yeah.
That's the
So
same
he
thing.
wraps
It's
it
rice
up
and beans, but it's
in
different.
saran wrap, and
because I want to keep it hot.
right. And this about maybe 6 hours later, we get on the plane. I'm like, he's looking. I see him reach for the bag, and I'm like, no. Don't do it. You know. So I'm like, yo, E, don't do it, bruh. You're about to blow out the whole first class. He was like, see, I got to. So he takes the saran wrap off and then I'm talking about lifts the corner lid, like just barely, and takes a spoon, hits some of the rice. I'm talking about the entire first class exploded. Jalen was like, Dad, put that away.
I said, Jalen,
terrible.
who decides or who decides who decides? You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown man. Who told me I couldn't eat my, you know what I'm saying?
I was dying laughing
I'm a grown
the
man.
whole plane. Wow. So then he's like, so then this fool, so he says, so it's blew out. So he takes a couple bites and puts it back down. And everybody like, the stewardesses came by and was like, oh, did you eat that food that fast? And she was like, and he was outside, so I told him to put it away. It was smelling too bad. She was like, oh yeah, I could smell it way in the back. So he said, well, since everybody can already smell it.
You feel what I'm saying, Carl? They already smell it. It's already out.
He takes and just starts hitting it again, and I'm talking about the entire plane
No,
for the whole hour and some change coming
Paid
from
to be in first class. I'm diamond
And this
status.
is the flight last night?
last night, bruh. And listen, a lot of those people were delayed like 5 hours. The plane was supposed to leave at. We ended up getting on the plane. The whole plane experience was crazy. Am I tripping, E? or did we make an 8:55
I
flight
was gonna ask you about that
and get
one.
to
Bruh.
the airport at 8:40?
Okay, I can't say his name,
So-
but we did run through the airport. You know what I'm saying?
So
can't
give me
say his
Orenthal.
name.
Give me
Yeah,
flight time. What was the flight time?
Yo,
8:55.
Flight time 8:55.
Yeah.
8:55.
And y'all arrived
we hit
at the
mad
airport.
construction and traffic. It was unreal going to the airport. You know, you usually get there an hour early at least. But we hit some kind of crazy construction. You know, it don't take an hour. It take an hour and 10 minutes to get to the airport.
Absolutely.
It took 2.
It took 2 and some change. So we pull up at the airport at 8:40
8:40.
for an 8:55 flight.
flight.
Yeah.
Listen, you thinking the flight's delayed. Flight left on time.
Yeah.
And we
A
still
minute
got
late.
there on time.
Well, 30 seconds late. It was like 8:56 when we started moving.
And when they closed the doors, he showed me the phone. So, and here's the crazy part.
Wow.
You know, I had my boarding pass pulled up on my phone. Well, I put my phone to sleep and I didn't screenshot it, wasn't thinking. And then, so when I got into the airport, he had his up. So when I got into the airport, my phone, when I went back to my app, the Delta app, they took the boarding pass away. It was like, it's too late. So I'm like, yo, it said you got to print it at the kiosk.
Oh wow.
So I'm like, oh man. So I run to the kiosk, put in my Sky Miles number, try to print it. It was like, it's too late. Go see an agent. There's 2 people ahead of me in line.
All this happened?
All this happened. Now E's gone.
I'm gone because you know I got I got my stuff up. Plus I got a little pass and then security people that know me. I'm like, hey y'all. They like, what up, E? I'm like, yo, I gotta go, y'all. They was
yeah.
like 8:55. I was like, yeah. They was like, yeah, you need to hurry up. So I got in front of everybody, threw my little bag in. And here's the deal.
Yeah.
We left everything. We left suitcases, microphones. Like we left everything because we knew there was no way.
time for all
And let me tell you something. I got through that sucker. Look, it wasn't even in the main terminal. It was in B terminal, so I had to run through.
You know
for
B
those
terminal,
of you,
yeah.
You've been to Detroit, you know it's like
tunnel with the light
look, Yeah, the
board,
light
right.
board is like a little aquarium, boy. You're going through. I had to run through
Yeah.
that. Okay, here's
That's
the
crazy.
craziest part, Ken. Not only did I have to run, I'm grateful for the 5K the day before because it had me in the spirit. But Ken, I had to do it in flip flops. I had on flip flops, Ken, was like through the airport. But I made it in 6 minutes. I got there at 8:46, and I was getting on. There was 2 people who I guess were trying to do the standby boy, and I told them my son, CJ, right behind me. They're like, no problem. We'll wait for him.
Yo, so we
That's
end up,
crazy.
I'm talking about we end up getting on that. So I finally, the lady tells me, I'm like, yo, can you print out my ticket? And she was like, oh, sweetie, you're not gonna make your flight. She was like, you know, the gate's already closed. I'm like, first of all, you don't know that. You just made that
But I'm
up.
saying, isn't that so people though?
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah,
quit
yeah,
and
for
give
sure.
up before, you know what
Yeah,
I'm
the
saying?
whole time, like, no, I'm like, okay. I said, well, just do me a favor, print it anyway.
Yeah.
And if
Let
I
me
gotta
try.
change it at
Right,
the gate,
right.
I'll
That's
change
it. Let me try.
She was like, all right. She gave me the ticket, and lo and behold,
We was on that
slipped
job.
right on that job.
And this was big, Carl, because there was no other flight that could get us to Jersey in time to make the NBA
Yeah.
gig.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And let me
Yeah,
tell
that's
you,
when we left the same day as the
and here's the only thing the young lady who was responsible for setting the whole thing, like it wasn't like just a smooth transition like normal.
Right.
And so I didn't want to put her in a jam that she spent all of this time. We working the contract out, you know, getting everything right.
Yeah,
she,
yeah.
she invested her time in this thing for us to have to call and say we're not gonna
can't
make
make
it.
it.
We can't make it. We didn't make it because we
right.
missed our
Flight.
flight.
Yeah.
It was on us, you know. So
which would have been the first time in
Yeah.
how many years
I
that
don't
we
know.
ever missed a flight.
yeah, y'all
But,
can say a lot about me. I lose my keys, but you can't.
So-
when it come to flights, I don't miss my flights.
Yeah, no. So I do want to talk about our New York trip. I'm sure everybody saw us. Like I said, we did hanging with Gary V, Sway, Renato Romaine, Hip Hop Nation, XM Radio, bumped into Howard Stern. Like it's a bunch
y'all
that
tell me
happened.
that.
Oh yeah.
Y'all
bumped
tell me
into
that
Howard
one.
Stern.
After she been talking about Howard
Yeah, I've been
Stern
talking about Howard
all
Stern.
of this
last couple
time.
events.
Speaking into existence. Anyway, so but before that, I want to go back to Atlanta. We can't just breeze over Atlanta. Atlanta was insane. Listen, man, shout out to everybody who came to Atlanta.
Packed house.
Yo, I'm talking about literally standing room only.
Hey, it wasn't enough standing room almost.
Yo,
Like,
it was
packed.
crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
packed.
get the bigger venues now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get the bigger venues, but it was crazy packed in there. But the day actually started off with the 5K, which I believe E came in 7th or 8th.
Somewhere 8th or 9th, somewhere around
8th
there.
or 9th in his
age
division.
category.
He finished the 5K in 32 minutes, y'all.
And I'm hurt,
And
man.
he ain't been running like he had been running. He had been doing more walking with the 10,000 step challenge and things of that nature. And I was shocked, like, to see you come in that quick. I was like, whoa.
No,
like,
see, I'm hurt because I had to walk 3 times, right?
So you walked some too and still got
Yeah,
32.
and I thought when I was walking, I was in 40s. Had I known, but here's the thing, like I said before, guys, this is why I'm hurt. Because let's say I was 8th or whatever I was, all of us was in the 30s. So I could have hit the 29 easy. But I had never trained in Atlanta. So those hills really did, like it's hilly in Atlanta. Then it was very humid, you know. So I was hurt though when I saw the results. Because I was like, yo, if I would have just shaved it a minute or so, I would have been like 4th in my age group. But I got it next year. I'm going to start, you know, but here's the deal. You can't prepare for Michigan for Atlanta. And a lot of people in their real life, that's what you're doing. You in one arena doing X, Y, and Z, but you're not putting yourself in a position when the real boy happened, you know what I'm saying, the hills happen. So I'm going to have to hit Atlanta a couple times throughout the year and just train in Atlanta. But I know I could get it to 26.
Yeah, the
I
hills.
know I could do 26, bro, without stopping.
Yeah.
I know, and I get through those hills, I could do it in 26 minutes.
Some dude came through blazing at 17.
17.
Like,
Yeah, but he
Okay,
wasn't
yeah.
my age.
no,
On
he
your
definitely-
side.
No.
20, I think he was 21.
I don't know.
he was 21,
Yeah, he was definitely young, but that was great, man. And then, of course, went on to the venue that night, man, and 2 VIP sessions back to back, just crazy loaded with information, just a high caliber of folks that came out to the show. And then, yeah, man, standing room only man, it was just phenomenal. Toby came and did his thing, and then we had a young lady, shout out to Eshai. Eshai. And she came through and shut the house down.
In the opening, though.
In the opening.
In the opening act.
I'm like, yo, everybody was bugging. I was out in the hallway and everybody was asking me like, yo, who is this young lady that got singing? You know, she was in there going crazy and they were loving it. And I actually met her. My man had asked me to come up and speak to some of the kids at Patchwork. They had a summer program, and so it was like 17 or 18 kids that they have come up there and they sing and put together music, and Patchwork looks out for them or whatever. So I went up there to speak to them, and they were playing one of the songs, and I was like, yo, this whole song is good, but whoever's singing on that is crazy. And then afterwards, she came up to me and was like, oh, I've been following you guys for so long, So I was like, give me your number. I have E call you or whatever. So like next Monday I had E call her. She was so geeked, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you called me, blah, blah, blah. And she sang for E on the phone. Like I made her sing. I'm like, oh, hold on, girl, and E was like, yo, when we come to Atlanta, you gotta open up. So she hit me like the day before the conference, like, where do I need to be? I'm like, oh, she ready. And she got to the show, man, and it was just phenomenal. What did she say? Help me out. I rise. Yeah, I rise up. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, 1,000 times.
Yeah, I rise. Yep. So
Hey, don't forget our unofficial sponsor for the
course.
podcast.
Oh, for sure. No, official.
Official.
Yeah,
the official sponsor.
Is
They don't even know.
Sandy Springs Fast Signs.
Man, so we get to the event, y'all. Well, at the 5K. And at the end of the 5K, they bring us into the studio. We had Patchwork, and we just got this banner, man. Y'all see it, this banner behind us. And we walk into the room just like, wow. I'm talking about like, I don't know if can they see the whole thing? They can see the whole thing? It's probably like, 7-8 feet tall. I'm talking about bigger than life-size ET. You know, the logo.
For sure, it got me beat.
Man, I'm telling y'all.
I was like this with next to me.
But yeah, man, just shout out to them, man, for real. We talk about seeding things into the atmosphere all the time, man, and you walk into a room and see, you know, your work just on, and I can't explain to y'all, like, they've made it in a way that this sucker fall down to like a collapsible chair, like we could travel with it. Right. So I'm just saying, this is like, we've never seen this.
And then they was geek too, man, like, you know what I'm saying, like, not only did they do it, but the spirit in which they did it, like, they were like, look, you've done a lot for us, we want to gift you with this. And I think that was just as big as, you know, the gift itself was that fact that it was so much love, and they were like, okay, come in, all right, bring CJ in.
Oh, no doubt.
Like, surprise, you know what I'm saying? Like, just the way they went about doing it.
Sandy Springs Fast Signs, man.
So appreciate y'all.
You need any signs, you're in that area, you need any signs, anything done, you know, business-wise, make sure you call them.
You don't even have to be in that area. Just
let them know. Hey, and they do all kinds of stuff. Anything you could put your logo on, hit them up. They got all of that for y'all.
Yeah, perfect. And then, Atlanta, just a great time, great event.
Indianapolis got next.
Indianapolis up
Hey,
next.
any
Miami
of your
after
friends,
that.
please. Look, I've never done this, but I have to do it. because I'm starting to see how lives, marriages, you know, one of our guys called one of his homeboys he hadn't talked to in years, guys. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that's happening. So, you know, anybody near Indianapolis, Michigan, you know, Illinois, Wisconsin, you know somebody in that area, tell them to drive, get there. It's life-changing. Call them. Tell them they cannot miss Indianapolis. And, of course, Miami, you need a vacation. Come on, get the vacation and, you know, get the event of your life. So, guys, make sure August, I don't think we're doing anything in September. These are the last 2 conferences for a minute. You know, school's going back. We got to get our families situated, you know, in school, et cetera. So, hey, if you know anybody in Indianapolis, anybody in the Miami area, tell them they need to be there.
For sure. New York. So let's talk about it. We get up. Of course, me and E up, crack of dawn with the New Yorkers.
I'll tell a story. I'm not gonna tell the name.
Oh Lord!
I ain't gonna say the
Don't
name.
tell the name.
But
deductive reasoning may tell the name.
let me say this to y'all, man. Let me say this, and y'all, and please hear me. So we had to be at the Gary V. So we talking about yesterday, because we, like you told you, we got there the day before for the NBA rookie transition program. But yesterday, we had to be at the Gary V show at 9. So somebody asked me, like, what time are we leaving? I said 8:30. And so I had gone walking and whatever, was back. So it was about 5-ish. And so they were like, yo, why are you up this early? You know, so for me, I just was like, what? But I understand that's a mentality, you know, because there's certain people, you used to a 9 to 5. So like you got to be to work at 8. So you don't get up, like you literally get up to go to work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you get up to go to work. You get up to get dressed, like, so you're on time for work. You know, and I just explained to that person, like, yo, I don't get up for an event. You know, I get up for life. You know what I'm saying? I don't get up for events. I don't get up because I got to be somewhere. I don't care if I don't have to be nowhere. I'm still going to get up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because I'm getting up for an opportunity that may not even exist. I'm going to create. So for those of you who are out there, like if you got that mentality, like you got class at 8 and you getting up at 7:15 to make 8 o'clock class, like don't rob yourself. Like your life is so much more important than that event. So don't base your whole life around getting to that class on time. Like get up at whatever time and do something for you. Like even if you got class at 8, get up at 6 and give yourself an hour. Do something for you. Invest in you. Don't invest just in that particular event. So keep going, see.
That sounds like the nugget of the day already.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Early.
Early. Yeah, no, that's fire though.
I'm like, wow, this person gonna be broke.
No, it's real. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I had that mentality at that age
Absolutely.
too. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Absolutely.
like, okay, what time? I mean, if I got 11 o'clock, 10:40.
I'm saying you train from school though. You get up for school.
Yeah,
you know
of
what I'm saying?
course,
So you kind of keep
absolutely.
that
I mean,
mindset.
I think you're just conditioned for that period work. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not necessarily like, if you got the day, most people, if you got the day off, you're not waking up at the same time you were when you had to go to work. You know what I mean? Like most people are looking for not how they can maximize their time.
Or their life.
Right. Yeah, they're looking, to see how they can get them extra Z's. And so, I mean, we got in at what time last night? Midnight. I probably went to sleep close to 1, and he texted me at 4:45.
I was gonna say I saw the text at by 6, but it was at 4 something.
He texted me at 4:45, like, yo, you ready to go? I was like, I texted him back at what, about 5:15? I was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. And we up here doing the podcast, but we really do believe in, making the most out of your day. And the one thing I love is when people come up to E and are like, yo, you're not promoting sleep. And why don't you promote like
I still
sleep?
be laughing when I hear it.
Right, and people are like, oh, you can get sick and die if you're not sleeping. Why don't you promote more sleep?
Yeah, because people don't have a problem with sleeping. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't never met nobody who had a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like people gonna get at 7-8 hours in. Like people don't have a problem, Carl, spending. You know what I'm saying? People don't have a problem gaining weight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People have no problems gaining weight. People have a problem eating. You know what I'm saying? It's losing weight that we have to help people with.
That's right.
Saving money.
Saving money we have to help people with. It's not eating 4,000 calories a meal. That's what we have to help people with. So it's not like
Most
I
people
don't
don't
sleep.
need help hitting the snooze
They
button.
don't. It's not like I don't sleep, but you don't need help with that. You need help grinding. You need help changing your perspective, your mental outlook. Like you need help getting optimal, whatever it is out of your own personal life.
The
you know what I'm saying?
perspective change is crazy.
Yeah.
And man, I got to shout out Elijah because he said it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But we were riding home last night, right? And he was saying he was going through his numbers, like he's in real estate. He's going through his numbers and like how many calls it takes to make X amount of dollars or whatever. And he went through, he had like the system that tracked all of his stuff. And so he said he figured out how much he got paid for each no.
What?
Yeah, bro, I told E was like half asleep. I was like, yo, wake up, you gotta hear this. And he was like, so simple math would tell you, he would say, yo, if I have to make 10 calls to make $1,000, each no was worth $100.
$100. Wow.
So instead of seeing no as a rejection, you see no as ching ching. I was like, oh, look, I can go home.
Wow.
But you talk about the perspective change and how you look at situations. And I talk about that all the time with us in the company. And for those of you out there listening, and you like, yo, you trying to get your business off the ground, you trying to do all these things, you're looking at it from the wrong lens. You don't look at an experience where you went out and tried to, court a customer or a client for 2 weeks and it didn't go through. You don't look at that as a win. You don't look at that as ching ching because you gained all this experience, because you one step closer to the yes. You look at it as defeat, and so you start getting discouraged.
Absolutely.
And your odds of sticking with it decrease significantly when you feel discouraged. Like I said, the one brilliant thing I think that we've done in this company is we never got discouraged. Like, even though it might have been a caterpillar pace in terms of how we were moving, when we looked up the next day, we were always a tad bit in front of where we were the day before. And I think, like I said, if you go to Vegas and you at the crap table and you winning, I don't care if you winning 50 cents each
Keep
hand.
going.
You're going to keep throwing until you lose, and we never lost. We always looked at it as a win. And when I heard that yesterday, I was like, wow, my man figured out how much each no is worth. And how would that change your discipline, your determination, and your desire to go out and get it if you saw a no? Like, imagine if I just had to go out somebody out on the streets and say, yo, just ask somebody if you can use their phone. They say no, it's $100.
Yeah.
Like, you'll ask every single person you
Everybody
see.
you at. Yeah.
You pissed when they say yes. You'll say, shoot. Because you build up the bank. You know what I'm saying? 20 no's mean 2,000 coming. And so I was just like, wow, but it's the perspective change.
That's all it is. That's all it is. And that's why, I say I'm so excited about the message that we deliver, because our message is not the message of you need $5,000 to get started. You know what I'm saying? Our message is not you need a master's degree or you need this particular certification. Our message is by changing your mindset, you know what I'm saying, you can begin to live the life that you feel you were destined to live, that you feel like you deserve to live. You're talking about, Carl coming here, from Barbados and having to start from ground zero. It's not like your parents were here. You're talking about me being homeless, a high school dropout, having to start. You're talking about CJ playing football, getting all these, potential, letters or code to this Big Ten school, this, ACC, whatever, these schools, and then getting at 2 injuries and just
Gone.
that's it, gone.
Gone.
The thing that he worked so hard for, and having to start from scratch. At 18 years old, we all started from the bottom, literally, different bottoms, but the bottom, and we've climbed to the top together. When I say to the top, guys, I need y'all to hear me. Like, I really need you to hear me. We are in the NBA, the NFL. Listen to what I'm saying. We're in D1, all sports, lacrosse, we've done it all. Look, we're in corporate America. We are in the juvenile justice system. We just got a call from the one of the high schools, districts about not only bringing our book in, but also using our dissertation to study one group versus the group that doesn't use, the work that we talk about, self-determination, theory in their school. So I'm saying, like, we're everywhere now. We're in Australia with rugby. We're in voiceovers. We're in books, audio books. You saw us with Gary Vee, with Sway, with Joel Osteen. Like, listen, guys, we started from the bottom, right? We're not telling you how quick it's going to happen for you, but what we're telling you now is, like, we have legs everywhere. Like, whatever the industry is, we are in that industry at this particular time in our, history, like colleges, retention programs. Like, everybody's calling us. If you have a heart, if you need to be motivated, you need blood pumping through your body, like you calling us. You like, yo, I don't care what it is. If we need people to get motivated, inspired, empowered, they're calling our company. So when you listen to us, the joy is, yo, these dudes had nothing and look where they are. So it encourages you that if you have nothing and you listening to us, all you gotta do is keep
You too,
listening.
my friend.
Reverse engineer.
Look, this is the universal sign. I'm gonna say this now. Can you see me, Ken? This is the universal sign now. Just keep chipping.
Yeah, keep chipping.
That's it. Keep chipping. We need to make a T-shirt with that.
Yeah,
Just keep chipping, man. That's for real.
And like Carl, I know sometimes you probably think like me, like, yo, what if we would have just been like, yo, this ain't working?
I keep thinking, like, what is my alternative? Like, I'm saying the next 20 years of my life, like, yo, where do I go from here? Like, I ain't trying to be funny. Like, where do I take up my roots from this, and what do I do next? I promise you, I got nothing.
Right.
I got nothing.
Yeah, but I think, when I look back, I'm like, yo, we were probably at the same place that some people under the sound of our voice right now.
Now, right there, now.
Like for real, they've been doing it for a year. Everybody looking at them crazy. It's not working. And you really ready to give up, and you really ready to quit. And I'm saying, like, yo, you don't know when the break is gonna come. You can't, and you're not in charge of knowing. Like that, I said to somebody the other day, I said, man, I'll take your business and blow your business up. Not because I'm sweeter than you, because I won't quit until I figure it out.
Yeah, we ain't gonna stop.
I promise you. I told E last night, it's unhealthy the amount of time that I consume thinking about going to the next level in this company. Like, I have to turn my brain off and be like, okay, family time. Like, I'm just saying, it's call it what you want, but I'm obsessed with improvement. I'm obsessed with going to the next level. I'm obsessed with making sure we constantly pushing the envelope.
I'm obsessed with obsession.
I'm obsessed with obsession.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm saying,
Flat out.
like, I will go in your business and dominate because I promise you, I just won't quit. I will outlast everybody standing there. It's an endurance test. You think, how many people you think, and no disrespect to E, but how many people you think smart, higher IQ than E that was working on a PhD that didn't get it?
A whole bunch of
A ton of them. I know people smarter than E who was working on their PhD who never got it.
That's real.
And it was just, E was like, all right, bet, I'm in it for the long haul. And you endured them, body blow, sending your paper back, sending it back chopped up, sending it again, like, yo, it's
feeling
just,
embarrassed in the process.
period.
Yeah.
I'm talking about wasting
Everything.
time. Like, I'm still working on the company. I could be using that time that you telling me to edit my paper to get paid. And I'm not on the road as much. I'm not getting as much sleep. You know what I'm saying? I'm not able to go to the movies with my wife, spend time with my kids, but here's my deal, guys. First of all, if you're coming back and listening to us, we don't want you to get excited about listening to us. Let me tell you
This
why
not
you
entertainment,
love it.
y'all.
Yeah, this is not entertainment. Let me tell you why you love this. You love it because it's you. Like, you love it because you hearing yourself right now. You feel me? And so what we're trying to tell you is don't just love it because you are right here. Take the principle, right? Take the principle and run with the principle. And here's the principle. The principle is that grit, that grind. Like, we are determined that we're not gonna stop. And hear me well, because I don't know, like, at what point you're listening to this. This could be like your second podcast. You might not have started from one. And if you haven't, go back, start from one. Listen to me. We have never gotten one sponsorship, guys. And I don't say that like with regret. I'm not angry. I'm glad we didn't. We did not get one letter of encouragement from, people who are higher than us and just want to encourage. We got letters from you. Yeah, we did get letters from you. You did encourage. But I'm talking about those people in the industry that people would look to say, whatever. We didn't get one certificate. Like, nobody put a certificate in the mail for us. And guess what? We didn't quit. Why? Because we don't need extrinsic. That's what the whole self-determination theory is about. That's what my whole dissertation is about. Intrinsic motivation. We did not need anybody else to affirm us. We do not need anybody else to tell us we would ever. And your biggest problem is, one, you ready to quit, but more importantly, you ready to quit because ain't nobody stroking your ego. Ain't nobody celebrating you for what you do. You don't need to be celebrated. The celebration is in the grind. The celebration is in getting up. The celebration is in the opportunity. The celebration is in the level of excellence that you put in it. That's when I finish speaking, people always ask me, E.T., how you felt it went? I don't know how it went. I'm not in the dude who's sitting there brain. I'm not in the young lady who's sitting there brain. I don't know what's processing in their mind. I don't know if it worked or it didn't work. Well, E, you saw her cry. Just because she cried don't mean she gonna go home and do nothing with the information I gave her. I had a slightest idea what my speeches do or don't do. So I don't know how it went. I don't care. What I know is I got dressed. I got up, I got dressed, I put on my shoes, I got in my car, I got to the hotel, I got to the Civic Center, I got on the plane, I went, they called my name, they did the introduction. I had something for them to introduce me about. Like, you hear what I'm saying? Like, they were able to do an introduction because I've accomplished some stuff. And then they turn on the mic. If they gave me 20, I blazed the 20. They gave me 30, I blazed the 30. They gave me an hour, I blazed the hour. Lennar gave me 3 hours, I blazed the 3 hours. What do you mean you blazed it, E? I mean, I showed up. I was present. I gave 120%. And I'm okay with the results after that. Yeah. I'm okay with whatever happens after that. I'm okay if you tell me it was whack. I'm okay if you told me you didn't like it. But what you cannot say is that I wasn't present. What you cannot say is that I didn't give you 120%. I gave you my heart. I gave you I was transparent. I talked about my wife, my son. I talked about my thoughts, right? So I don't care like your personal results. My results was I showed up, and that's your problem. You need to be affirmed by people. You hurt when nobody tell you good. You hurt when somebody critiques your stuff, and you gotta grow up and let that ego go, and you gotta make the work, and not make the rewards the work. Make the work the work.
Make the work. No, that's powerful, man. That's powerful. You know, I don't really know how we got here because that wasn't what I planned on.
I was just going to ask you if he was upset about New York or something. Yeah, he got a whole different swag today.
Hey, I'm going to tell you what, though. Lord knows I love New York. Shout out to all our supporters out there. But y'all the rudest bunch of people I have ever.
And they put it on the grind, though, see?
They
man. Blame it on the grind.
Yo, how many did we have? I'm trying to think of who we go to first. We go eat breakfast yesterday morning. Yo, I promise you, my man making an omelet. I wanted spinach, tomatoes, onions, green pepper, and I think I had sausage.
So it's New York, so I know they got it.
Right. So my man says, only 3 items.
Did you tell him you could pay for the other one?
No, I want cheese, so I had 6. So do me what
just double whatever yours would have been.
3 items. Carl, I'm looking at him like, yo, I'll pay for 2
it's
omelets.
New York, so I know y'all have them.
Yeah, I'm right. I'm saying I'll pay for 2. I'm reading off his menu list. I want this. I'm like, bruh. So finally he like,
Right. I'm saying, well, you here to work.
I'm like, yo.
Are you making breakfast or are you trying to satisfy your customer?
I'm like, what in the? I'm like, all right, cool. Then we go to the Euro stand later on. Or was that the day before, I think? We go to the Euro stand. My man, I'm talking about had it up to here with Jalen.
Are you serious?
Boog was asking for special requests. My man looked at us and was like, yo, y'all can get up out of here. And I'm like, wow. I'm just like, and I'm teasing, but like the different swag of New York is just like, yo, I'm in, especially me, I'm in Georgia.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Southern
like,
hospitality.
you know, it's Atlanta and it's very metropolitan. You still get that Southern hospitality. Yeah. You know, you go sit down and eat, you got people who, you know, they kind of embrace that culture. To you. So it's a different experience. In New York, it's like, yo, let's go. Yeah. So we were like some hillbillies off in New York. We got stuck in Gary V's elevator. We couldn't figure out how to get down the elevator. Bro, we was just on it.
Yeah, because they don't have buttons on the inside.
They don't have buttons on the inside of the
kids
elevator.
looking at us like, ignorant,
ignoramus. We in there like,
y'all can't count.
No, we in there like the Beverly Hillbillies, bro. No. There's no buttons on the inside of the elevator. So, you know, we walking out of the hookup, the elevator opened up. So we jump on it. It closed. I'm like, okay. Nothing. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's just going to go to the first by itself. So it go down. Ding, ding, ding. Couple people hop on. Ding, ding, ding. Couple people hop on. So we on there for about 10 minutes. All of a sudden, next thing we know, we back up on floor 36. I was like, yo. So we get off the elevator. We like, okay, hold up. Let's reset. You know what I'm saying? My man comes out, shows us how to get down. So yeah, it was just crazy, man. We end up being late for the interview thinking, okay, they told us it was a 10-minute drive. Took us about an hour and a half to get across the street. So it was just, it was crazy. But We did do Gary V. That was great. Y'all can go check it out on his channel, Ask Gary V. Can't remember what episode, 223, 225, something like that. But E and him were on there. Great energy in the room, great company, great folks. Great hanging out with them. And then we went over and did Renato Romaine and Sway. And man, Sway put on, man. Like, yo, he put on for real. Like, I mean, the introduction he gave E, and I'm sure you can check that out on YouTube. Sway's Universe, I think, is his YouTube channel. You can, I'm sure you can search and find the video, but man, it was a powerful, powerful session, bro. Like, Sway showed love. Of course, we met him a couple weeks ago, and he was like, yo, come out anytime. And for real, y'all, I don't push. Like, people, like, I don't ever push to get E on the show. I don't ever, like, for real, I was taught a long time ago, invited guests are welcome
Treat
best.
the best, yeah.
And so I was like, yo, I waited, they invited us, so cool, we went on, and it was just crazy. The very first guy who called was like, yo, you changed my life. My man started crying, like bawling on the phone.
Wow.
The studio was, you know, sometimes when we come in, it tend to be a little funny and a little upbeat. They were in there like, yo, you changing lives, bro, respect. And so I just think that was a powerful, powerful interview. I don't know, Eve, if you had any takeaways from the Sway interview, but.
No, just, you know, like you said, man, just for me, I can't believe we number one in the world. You know, I'm just gonna be real, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think it's important for me to say this because we're talking to those of you who started where we start. When you start at zero, you'd be lucky to qualify. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you where we are, you'd be lucky that we get gigs, that we're considered a motivational company. You know what I'm saying? Now we're consultants. Like, we way past motivating folks. You know, we're consulting now. So for me, for us to be considered, you know, and when I say number one, I don't mean it's just us, like we by ourselves. You know, I'm just saying, like, in the industry though, we're considered among the best in the industry, you know, and so to get the love from other people who are number one in the industry. You know, Sway been doing this forever. Sway does not have to show us that type of love. And so to get that type of love for somebody and not competition, not like, yo, I don't wanna, you know, and then think, you know, some of the other people, and I know they're entertainers, but some of the other people that he has on the show, and for him to bring us in, and we're not even in hip, like, we're not in music, like, we're not hip hop, like, entertainers, we're not entertainers, you know. So for me, man, it's just the love that we're getting in New York, man. We walking through Times Square, we getting love. We in restaurants, people stopping us, we getting love.
It's got,
love
I think
crazy,
that's the one
man.
thing that still be tripping me out. Like, we had a meeting with a guy, and should I say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Steve,
no.
go ahead.
So
Sorry,
I'm not gonna
be
say that
transparent.
who it was. Yeah, no, yeah, we are transparent. Sometimes a little too transparent.
A lot.
But anyway, we've been getting a lot of, you know, people approaching us about TV and stuff like that. So we took a meeting for TV, which was cool. You know, like the best feeling I ever had about actually maybe getting something done. You know, if we do TV, everybody listening, you can rest assured that it's not gonna be nothing crazy or stupid or nothing like that. We've been approached with every dumb idea you can possibly imagine. And now we got a company who's on board with
authentic.
With our vision of
Keeping it
exactly.
authentic.
Keeping it authentic. So anyway, we went out to lunch with him, and of course, somebody, you know, people coming up, my man like, yo, E.T., you know, the whole night. So I was like, man, my man from the TV hookup was like, does this happen all the time? And I was like, more and more every single day. And it was just good because he said it. When people see him, it's not like the Beyonce flip out. It's like, yo, bro, you changed my life. You know what I mean? And so I seen my man from TV. Me and him were talking when dude came up to you, and he kind of just like leaned back in his chair and was like eavesdropping a little bit, but just trying to hear what, you know, what E was doing for people and how they were affected by the messages. And I think that's the biggest thing, man, in the airport, you know, just shoot. People starting to recognize me and Carl now. I'm like, I know this thing that got out of control.
Getting out of control.
You know, so yeah, no, it's a good feeling. I was in Lids in Atlanta the other day, and this kid was like, yo, CJ.
Wow.
And I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? He's like, I feel like it's divine intervention. I just got to work 10 minutes ago and you in here. So I invited him out to the show, man. Real cool kid.
Why does it
and,
never feel like that when I'm with C? C never says in the divine image when I show up to him. Never divine.
Sometimes it's a different type of intervention. You know what I'm saying? So nah, man, shout out to everybody who shows love. you know, and people, man, just in the airport, everywhere, just, you know, showing love and respect for, you know, the work that E's put in.
Bringing gifts to us and stuff.
Oh, well,
yeah,
yeah.
no,
We're
that's
just
real.
insane on the gifts. We always got gifts, man. So shout
And,
out to
I'm hurt that I don't have it. I thought
thinking
I
about it.
forgot we
Did
were gonna
you
be
brought it
filming.
back?
Yeah, I have all of them, but the one I'm talking about specifically is the custom-made J's that were made.
I got a
for
photo
women.
of them. I got a
Okay.
photo.
Put
I'll
that
put them up
photo
on the
up.
site.
Yeah,
I'll put them
put
on
it
the
up on the
site.
site.
yeah, everywhere we go.
Can we cut it here, Ken? Can we just cut it and put it in here?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that possible? I want them to see it, Ken.
It's not possible.
Yeah, we
This
can't get
is
it
live.
done. No.
But no, man. So, yes, XM, they treated us great. Shout out to Reggie, man, who, you know, looked out for us, got us some hats. You know, he blessed us, man. Just great folks, great things. So, ain't got anything else you want to put on the New York trip? Oh, talk about the NBA, the rookies. What did you talk to them about? I don't know if we're allowed to say it.
Yeah, well, I'll just say this.
That's another story for
That's
another
a whole
day.
other story. For
Another story,
day,
another
y'all.
day.
I promise
but,
you. Yeah, but I will say this: great kids. You know,
Yeah.
great kids. NBA has a great future. You know, with
Yep,
these young people.
yep.
Their response was
Great.
phenomenal.
Yep.
I will say this because I can. But one of the reasons why I was so excited to go this year, you know, was to have the opportunity to, you know, just spend a couple more minutes with, you know, Denzel Valentine and Didi. You know, they're Spartans, and so it's always a blessing to, you know, be in the room with family. And then, of course, shout out to my boy Charlie Bell, Chuck. He came out, and not only with the NBA, you know, rookie program, transitional program, he also came with us to, you know, Sway Sway in the morning.
And they got a couple people from Flint who worked there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So, of
Yeah,
course, they
Kelly
knew
and
the
them,
legend.
so they knew Chuck when he
And,
came
and,
out.
and one of the program directors was a Michigan.
Oh, yeah,
So you know we went there.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, you know we went there.
Yeah.
10 seconds. That's all I'm gonna say. 10
right,
seconds.
right.
But yeah, man. I spoke to them, and I'll say the same thing to you guys. It's not what I said to them, Carl. It's not what you get, it's what you keep. You know, it's not what you get, it's what you keep. And a lot of us, and I'm not being disrespectful, but a lot of us have gotten into relationships, you know, gotten married and haven't been able to keep, you know, a lot of us have had children and not been in their lives. A lot of us have had money and lost our money. So I'm a real big teacher, guys, on it's not about what you get, but what you keep. You know, it's about being able to be a good steward of what you've been given, your gifts, your time, you know. So that was pretty much my message. Like, you guys have an opportunity of a lifetime. There's some opportunities that you'll have and some
I
things
hate
you'll
being
get.
around them kids.
Yeah,
man.
that other people don't get. Oh,
They're
yeah.
18 years old, 19 years old, they towering over you. I gotta look up to an 18-year-old like, how you feeling, man? I'm like, yo, I'm 6'3". I'm used to being like
The tallest
on
dude in
tall
the
end
room.
of the tallest
Yeah.
people in the room. I'm looking at these kids belly button like, this is disgusting.
And I will say this though, you know, what really was intriguing to me is that the kids from Africa,
Oh yeah,
they
yeah.
were
A
like,
whole different
E.
appreciation.
Oh, they was like,
Oh,
I've
they
been
was on
watching you
another
for
level.
years.
They
I'm
was
talking
on
about
another
as soon as I
level.
came in, you know, some of
Yeah.
them, you know, and again, it's no disrespect, but they have been used to being,
Yeah, they big time.
yeah, you know, yeah, thank
Yeah,
you,
they,
C.
I mean, they big
yeah,
time.
Yeah, you know what I'm
They
saying?
been big time since they was in 6th grade.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So, but the African kids, I mean, straight humility.
Oh,
ET,
on
I've been
another
watching. I'm talking
level.
about as soon as I walked in, they
First
ran
ones
up to me.
participating in the session.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
the African
they-
kids
yo.
was on it like, E, you don't understand where we come from. We needed your videos when we transitioned over here just to the country. Your
Yeah.
videos got us through, you know.
Yeah, it
So
was
shout
crazy.
out to our African kids who
I
are
remember, not to cut you, but I
Yeah.
remember reading the email, and the kid said in it was, I don't remember what country. I hate when people say Africa, it's a whole doggone
Yeah,
continent.
yeah.
But I don't remember exactly, but the dude said, E, you are our parents.
Hmm.
It's me and my brother, and we don't have anybody else. You are my dad. And I read that
Yeah.
thing, and I was in tears, man.
Yeah, no, it's real. Josh at the boot camp said before he had a business partner, ET was his business partner. Just listening to him, I never met him anything, but that was his business partner. So shout out to everybody using the audio, you know, to go to the next. You in a rush?
Carl is.
Oh, I got
Carl.
I got
what time
10,
you
we good. I
Oh, you
got
got 10.
10.
All right, cool. So this new game is called One Gotta Go. And one of these things has to,
Oh.
one person, place, or thing
Okay.
has never taken place. It just gets wiped off the history books, off the map. It never existed.
Got it.
And so in the interest of it being Olympic time, I
I was
thought,
gonna say Barry Sanders retired, but I don't get to make it up. Okay, I don't
in
get
the
to make it
interest
up.
of the Olympics being on
Yeah.
and everything going crazy, one gotta go.
Okay.
It never happened.
Okay.
All right. You got Michael Phelps. Usain Bolt. Carl Lewis. One got to go. It just never happened.
Carl Lewis.
You can't say. I thought that, but that's because it's so far behind you. But no, he was
Carl
a
Lewis might be the
pioneer,
greatest athlete
man.
of all time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Athlete.
Phelps won, and then I love Usain Bolt just because.
Not who you love.
Right. One just got to go off the history
Yeah,
book.
just one got to go.
Phelps got to
got
stay for me.
I guess who you love. No, I guess who you love would
Play
be
into it.
Play a role in your.
And Carl Lewis got.
And I'm surprised because Carl Lewis was kind of your era too.
Absolutely
Listen,
was. But,
here we
but
go
Bolt,
again.
But Bolt, though, man, and maybe it's because he got a Gatorade commercial. Carl Lewis had a Gatorade commercial.
Oh.
Bolt, man, unbelievable. And Phelps, come on, man, 20-something.
Yeah, Phelps got to stay for me.
Got to stay, bro.
Yeah, I would
'Cause he's
say
done it
I would
year
say
after year
Phelps
after
got to
year.
stay, but I did kind of have Phelps on the out because he's swimming. And I'm not. No, I'm just saying, like I never.
But I'm
really,
just saying,
I came
though.
up, we track and
Hardcore,
field is
yeah.
like.
No doubt, but I'm just saying, see, you talk about he's been dominating for years.
Since 2000. You're talking about
You feel
16 years, my man. Baby.
Bolt been dominating for some
How long
time.
was Carl Lewis?
No, Carl Lewis was the
dominating
one
every
before
sport.
Phelps. He
Carl
was.
Lewis was doing hurdles, shot put,
Long jump.
long
Just
jump.
gotta have a Gatorade commercial.
I'm talking about he did though. Carl Lewis just set himself back with the national anthem. That's the only thing that kind of put people like, oh, I can't fool with Carl Lewis when he sang that. He was like, and the
I'm just saying, though,
yeah,
to
hold
me,
on.
too.
Put that in there. If you can put this in the podcast. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, when he hit that note, it was like,
And the Rockets, red flag. I'll make up for it now.
Yeah.
my man stopped and said, in the middle of the joint. Yeah. But look, Carl Lewis was a great athlete, man.
He was, but I think the other thing, too, was he was a great athlete, but he reminded me of Barry Sanders in terms of, like, that his athleticism was his signature, if you will.
Right.
Whereas Bolt, bruh, he just
got swag with
he
it.
got swag out of this world, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he inspires, people, the inspirers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's hard, but I would definitely stick with my guns and go with the two that I mentioned.
And listen, man, we want y'all to participate in this segment called
for
One
sure.
Gotta Go. I guess if we can retroactively do this, Monte Cristo gotta go.
Hey, let me go there. No.
You feel me?
Hey, as soon as I got to the event in Atlanta, I had at least 3 dudes
No
like,
doubt.
yo, don't let them clown you.
No
That
doubt.
was my favorite movie of all time,
Yeah, but
man.
they said it to you in secret, though.
had-
They said it to you in secret, though.
No, and I had 85 people coming to me talking about The Last Dragon. You know
And
what I'm
I
saying?
had people hitting me saying my family members was in Hollywood Chef.
right.
They were sending it to me like
Yeah, he
my
gonna say it
family.
in text. My man was like, yo, my uncle was in Hollywood
No
Chef with us
doubt.
right here.
My boy Todd.
So,
Sit
hey,
back,
here
baby.
I go
Shout out to
again.
Sit back.
We want y'all to participate in this. Use the hashtag #OneGottaGo, or you can email us OneGottaGo. Movies, food, sports, entertainment, it don't matter. One gotta go, and every week give us 3 things, and out of the 3 things, we'll
One
pick
of them
one that
gotta
gotta go. So it looks like Carl Lewis. I'm not gonna go to bat that hard for you because you
No.
just because you murdered the national anthem. So we putting you out of there.
But much
And,
respect, though, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
Phelps and Usain Bolt still happened, but Carl Lewis, it never happened. Carl Lewis was working at Wendy's. So, that's it for that. Carl, man, we appreciate you joining us, my brother.
We'll see.
I gotta get up out of here. I gotta take my niece, y'all. My niece
Oh,
starting
if I
school
left my
in the
water
fall.
on in the thing, can you cut my water
Oh
off?
Lord, he got this ghetto fabulous sprinkler system. That just be,
I have to do mine. He had automatic. I don't have enough money for
yeah.
automatic.
We got
I
it.
got to do mine manually.
Grass greener.
Yeah.
Well, we got about. There's half of his that ain't quite caught up yet. There's a half that he's still working.
I don't
on.
water.
Yeah,
I don't
mine
water.
definitely-
I don't
mine
water
definitely
part.
got
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
No, but for real,
you.
y'all, I gotta take my niece to orientation today, man. She started school from Barbados, y'all. I'm trying to
yeah.
just one
That's
thing
big.
before I leave, man. Like for real, I got the opportunity, and it's not gonna end there. It's not gonna end there. My niece is coming. It's actually my wife's niece. Of course, it's my niece because it's her niece. But we got her in school. She's starting school in the fall, and today's orientation, and she's not gonna be late. So that's why I just got to get up out of here, man.
She living with you. Praise God for that.
Yeah.
I got a 20-some-year-old living with me right now. I'm ready for him to go back to school. Kel, I love you. You gotta go. You know what I'm saying?
One of
You
these
eating up
gotta
all
go.
my food.
One of these never happened.
Yeah, bro. No, these never happen.
Give me some keys.
So let's jump into Ask ET. I got questions on the Ask ET, but I don't know where I put them. Weren't we doing that yesterday? Oh, here we go. Yeah, I got you. Let's see. Oh, Yep. Shanita in Chicago said, "Hey, ET, I'm dealing with a recent loss. My mother was diagnosed with cancer 6 months ago and is no longer here now. Can you help me I'm having a hard time getting past the pain. Can you help me deal with the loss of my mother?"
Yeah, and let me say this, because this is, loss is difficult and we don't want to minimize it, you know what I'm saying? So don't think the stuff that I'm saying like just erase, the memories, of your loved ones. Like I'm not saying that, or that I'm telling you that, it's just going to be easy, the stuff that I'm saying. But I will say this to you. I think that we have to understand that, again, where your focus goes, your energy flows. And you've been on the airplane, you've heard us say it before where they say, when the oxygen mask comes down, you got to put it on yourself first. Just meaning that you have to take care of yourself, right? And even though things may be difficult or challenging, it doesn't give you the right not to take care of yourself. The last thing a loved one who loves you, who has transitioned, the last thing they want you to do is to die as well, right? So listen to me very closely.
Right.
And I don't know how this happened, guys, but I've been on this Nicki Minaj pills and potions, and I'm gonna be real, like I don't know how it happened, but I've been listening to it, and she talks about the fact, it's in a different context, but she talks about the fact that I'm angry, but I still love you. I'm in love, right? And so for me, one of the things I had to realize is that you could be angry or you could be hurt, right? Or you could be disappointed. Like for real, like you could have like real serious, emotions that are real, but still be in love, right? Listen to me. And I needed that song because, there's some times that I needed to mourn, some relationships I needed to mourn over. And I just had to be like real. Like she said, look, I'm angry, but I still love you. Like I'm in love. So one of the things I want you to do with your parents that you've lost, or a friend you've lost, and it could be physical loss, or it could be just the relationship was torn. Like, listen to me very carefully. I always say this: rejection means redirection, right? And so I need you to redirect for me. I need you to redirect. So Nicki also talks about in the song, how she reflects on the good times, reflects, on the good memories, and that's what I need you to do. I need you to get like maybe a picture of somebody you've lost. I need you to have a memory of that individual. Like I need you to go to the restaurant you guys used to go to. But all of the positive stuff, that's what I need you to be on. If you need to write a letter to that person or make a phone call. I talk about one of my homies that died like accidentally, and I had a voice message from him 2 days ago, right? Crazy. But I would listen to that voice message. I would to hear his voice again, somebody that I went to Oakwood with. So I'm just telling you, I know it's difficult. I'm not trying to minimize it. I'm not trying to minimize your stress or your struggle. That you do have to go through a mourning process, but it will be easier if you reflect not on, God, why did you do this? Like angry. How did this happen? My family member was a good person. Why did they have to, like that negativity is only going to exacerbate the situation. Like it's not going to make it any better, right? And so I just want you to concentrate on the good. I want you to think about the positive memories, like I said, and I want you to allow your energy to be electrifying, right? So remember, where your focus goes, your energy flows. So let's think about the good times and let our energy be positive. Like I said, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I know you have what it takes to get it done.
Cool. Malcolm in Virginia wants to know, when is the last time you felt burnt out? This morning.
Yeah, well, I wish. I think the last time I felt burnt out was the last stretch of that dissertation. That was a very difficult process. And I think for me, the reason why I don't get burnt out working is because this is my gift. And this might sound crazy, and this is how you know when you're in your gift. Your gift, when you operate in your gift, no matter how many hours you work, you actually are refreshing yourself, replenishing yourself. Like it's
right.
odd, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like I get energy from doing this work. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I am not a school person. I really did the grit boy, grinded that out. But that last month of that PhD, the iteration after iteration after iteration, like that was tough. Thinking that I was completely finished, with a thought or with a section and having to, edit something, like that was tough, guys. It was draining. So all the paperwork that went into it, the setting up the time frames for the actual defense, calling my loved ones, just so many things you had to wrap up with different departments. Like that was a very exhausting, time frame for me and an exhausting activity. So I think the dissertation probably was. And then I had to detox literally like a month or two. I couldn't read anything. I couldn't think deeply. I had to watch movies and, just go on vacation. So that was probably it, see.
Phil wants to know, what's the last mistake you made?
It's always the same, going off on my son. You know what I'm saying? That's probably all,
Poor Jalen.
Yeah, no, for real. He was, our family was headed to, our cousin was having an open house, which in Michigan, when you graduate from high school, it's like they celebrate you like you graduated from college. They have a big, to-do. And we were going, and the GPS system said go straight. And for whatever reason, he was about to get on the freeway and take us, 5-10 minutes out the way. And I just went off, right? And I love my wife. That's her baby. Of course, she said something to me about it. And then she waited for me to make a mistake with the GPS system. You know what I'm saying? And so that was probably the last mistake. And I'll be honest, I want to say this to my parents out there. And I know why I made the mistake. And I made the mistake because, I was disappointed in my son on some other stuff and didn't really, talk to him about it. It was just like, in my spirits, like, I was disappointed. You know what I'm saying? So I should have just been like, Boog, man, why you do that? I ain't like the fact that you did that. But I was on edge already, if it makes sense. I was already on edge because we didn't talk about it. And so it kind of, it piled up. You know what I'm saying? Here was another event. So I spazzed on something that was really not that deep. And so I want to be transparent because oftentimes, when we do go off, it's because we haven't dealt with something, that we needed to deal with earlier, right? So just deal with it. But like I said, I let stuff pile up and then it was like, And so I ended up saying to him, I'm sorry, later on, and then talking about what I was really disappointed about. And I should have just said that in the beginning and not let it, build up. So talk, man, talk, communicate, and do yourself a favor. Like, don't go there with your children. Don't go there with your spouse. Don't go there with your friends, whatever. Like, don't let stuff pile up to the point where it's passive aggressive. You hold it all in, and then, when you get fed up, you just come out because it's just not healthy, and it doesn't reflect who you are. So, again, it was my son, and I'm probably going to have this next time you ask me. I might end up saying the same thing again. It was my son.
All right, man, we appreciate you, man. That was Ask ET, brought to you by BreatheUniversity.com. Y'all already know, I ain't got to say it, what's going on with Breathe University right now. Just insane things. Shout out to everybody who's in Atlanta who came out to the conferences, man. Y'all need to rock with us, join us. We had just some crazy guest entrepreneurs come on the calls lately. Got another call tonight at 6 o'clock. It's going down. BreatheUniversity.com. Check us out, join us. Use the promo code BU Special and get 50% off your first month. That's still, promo code still valid. So come check us out at BreatheUniversity.com and jump on the line with me and the Hip Hop Preacher every week, couple times a week. Get into our accountability groups that we have and just build your network, man. You got to build your network. You got to go to that next level. And so join us there at BreatheUniversity.com. All right. Any other announcements before we head into the nugget of the day?
No, sir.
You heard it, Indianapolis, Miami, up next. So make sure you check for that. We'd love to see you guys come out. And then
and West Coast, we come in New York.
Yeah, West Coast and
we
East
will
Coast.
be there in New York before it gets too cold.
We're working on it.
Yep, and West Coast will definitely be out there.
Definitely working on it. Also, go leave the review on iTunes for us if you can. If you haven't done so already, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just not used to not being at the top.
Yeah, no,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm not used
So
to
go
not
leave
being
us
at
that
the top.
review, man. Let us know what you think of the podcast. We're going to keep bringing it to you every single week. With that being said, I got a lot of work to catch up on, man. We've been going. We've been up for 22 hours out of 24. So I'm going to go catch up on some actual paperwork and stuff. So get us out of here with that nugget of the day, E.
Yeah, nothing deep, guys. I just, you deserve it, man. Like, for real. I don't want to go, that, E.T. Like, it's a different passion. I need you to really hear me. Like, you deserve it, And so you really owe it to yourself, man, to stop making excuses, you know what I'm saying? Stop making, like making up stuff. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Like, for real, you deserve to go to the grocery store and not have to, pinch pennies. you know, like, okay, I can't get this. I got to get eggs, bread, milk, but I can't get this other stuff that I want. Like, you deserve to go in the grocery store and just cash out. Like, get what you want. Like, get some stuff that you don't necessarily need, but you want. Like, you deserve to take your spouse or your kids to the mall. Like, your kids shouldn't have to worry about not only their grades, but am I gonna be able to get back in school because, you know, we don't have no money. Like, you should be able to pay for your kids to go to school. Like, you should be able to have reliable transportation. Like, you shouldn't still be cranking the car and not sure if it's gonna go or not, or, you know, not sure if you have enough gas. Like, you going to the gas station and you putting in $5 or $10 and you're not 100% sure if that's gonna take you throughout the week. Like, look, your gift shall make room for you. You deserve to put in the work so you can live that life. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You deserve to put in that work so you can live that life. So get off the life part and put in that work, right? You deserve it. You deserve to be able to take a vacation when you want to take a vacation and not have to say, all right, well, we're going to stay in this cheap motel. Like, if you want to be in a cheap motel because that's the decision you made, that's cool. But you shouldn't be in a motel because you didn't have options, you know what I'm saying? Or you got to go on so-and-so.com and get a coupon. You need to be going to get a coupon, but not because, you know, you barely had the money, but because you're trying to be a steward. So listen to me, man, you deserve it. Your wife deserves it. Your husband deserves it. Your kids deserve it. Your church deserves it. You know, your company deserves it. Your neighbors deserve it. Your family, I don't know who, but you deserve it. Like, you deserve to stop looking at what other people have, being jealous, being envious, and say to yourself, next year this time, I'm going to put myself in the position to be able to have, do, right, and be everything I know I'm capable of. So it's your boy E.T. Listen to me. It's a different type of passion. It's a different type of passion, but it still should drive you and move you. You deserve the best. You deserve to have, be, and do everything you big enough, bold enough to dream of, right? And I just want to see you in it. I don't want to hear you with these ideas no more, talking about it, getting frustrated because you're not there. I want you to literally walk in what you deserve. So, hey, get up, get out, and go get what you deserve. It's your boy, E.T.
I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity with all your might, with all your soul.